Qualcomm and Rakuten partnering on massive MIMO. What's going on there?
Yeah, so Pat, you indicated that we'll be hearing quite a bit about Open RAN, and right now, what we're looking at are where are these kind of partnerships on a global scale. You've got companies building technologies, you got companies deploying technologies, and Rakuten announced a partnership. I actually had a chance to do a podcast with the CEO of both Rakuten Symphony and Durga Maladi from Qualcomm, that leads that business. And I mean, basically, it's a 5G RAN platform. It's going to, be designed and deployed by Rakuten, and they basically have picked Qualcomm to commercialize their massive MIMO RUDU, and it's going to be what they're going to offer for their next generation 5G mobile infrastructure. So, what we're really dealing with now, Pat, is you mentioned, open and virtual RAN is where they're going, right? The deployments of these, moving from old architectures to cloud native architectures is the key. They want to be able to add automation. They want to be able to be more efficient. They want to be able to keep uptime levels high. And then, of course, they want to be cost effective. So, this partnership, as they saw it, was going to give them the greatest opportunity to be successful. Of course, this adds to the diversification play of Qualcomm because, so many people think of Qualcomm as the devices and handset side, but this is heavy on the infrastructure side. This is where they're partnering up with companies. And by the way, Rakuten, Pat, I don't know if you remember around 2019 or 20, they had to have been the star of Mobile World Congress. I felt like every single booth I went to, I was seeing what Rakuten was doing with Cisco, what Rakuten was doing with Qualcomm, what Rakuten was doing with, I think I saw 9 demos in 20, it must have been 19 the last time we were there. But anyways, I digress. The fact of the matter is now, as I mentioned, and you mentioned too, we're seeing the year of 5G, and this is part of what's making it real. It's not just about having devices; it's about having the infrastructure that provides the bandwidth, the capacity, the scale, and by the way, the speed and efficiency that these carriers need. So Rakuten's been consistently flexing its muscle, especially overseas. I like them kind of like I like T-Mobile here in the U.S. in terms of innovation, and it was a really robust, solid partnership, Pat. I think this is one that we probably don't need to spend 20 minutes talking about, but big win, and obviously timely that they announced it coming right into MWC.
Yeah, it's funny. A couple of years back, I wouldn't say make fun of Rakuten, but it was like everybody was partnering with Rakuten, everybody in the industry, right? Whether it was Intel, Qualcomm, Marvell, it was like everybody was partnering with them. But in reality, they really are, all kidding aside, they are really the poster child for the next generation of a carrier, right? Where it's all virtualized. There's no CRUF, meaning there's no old legacy stuff that they have to take care of or they need to capitalize. This is a brand new infrastructure, and like you said, most people look at Qualcomm at their strengths, which is on the modem side, and but they really have a growth play going, and one of those is infrastructure. If you study the history of Qualcomm, Qualcomm used to have infrastructure. They had infrastructure, and then they had phones. So it was kind of ironic that they're getting back into the business, and nobody should think that they're brand new at this. That they're not. They're just getting back into it. And
that's such a good point, though, Pat. I'm not to cut you, but I was going to say I was trying to say, and I think you just hit it in a few words, but is that people don't credit. But as we've talked about Qualcomm's diversification, Pat, this is like one of those really good examples of how they're going to play in 5G well beyond what they're best known for.
Yeah, so you're right. We don't have to spend 20 minutes on this. This is very straightforward, but it's a positive sign for Qualcomm to see some success because, quite frankly, you can't put a price on something, right? Even if you give away something for free, somebody's not going to take it unless it's really awesome. And looks like Qualcomm is making it happen in yet another one of their growth businesses.